just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right, just new king, big, great, can, new, happy. The owls are not what they seem, the owls. People very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right, just new king, big, great, can, new, happy. The owls are not what they seem. The owls are not what they seem. The owls, people very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. King, happy, many down, many jack king from right, just new king, big, great, can, new, happy. The owls are not what they seem, the owls.
No snuff. I don't want no snuff. Snuff is a guy that can take.
Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
Okay, so what happened was I ended up doing something I think might be useful and important. And I wanted to get it out there as soon as possible so I didn't have to count on the tomorrow me getting it done. The backstory was I started watching this, and you can watch that while I make a pot of coffee, because it's gonna it might take us a minute to get where we're going. Present or invite, or we can invite everybody, but first.
Constantly changing a definition, and they feel like they have nothing concretely to grasp. But, I mean, if I'm being charitable, God is hard to define and difficult to understand. In fact, I think David Bentley Hart does a really good job in his kind of classic book at this point on the experience of God, when he shows just how often people, both Christians and atheists, seem to have a poor conception of God. If Peterson was just doing that, if he was just claiming that the man in the sky is wrong, but something else is right, he would probably make everyone happier. Instead, he seems to do the first half of that without really engaging constructively in the second half. His claim that atheists don't understand the God they reject all of a sudden becomes a whole lot more benign when you realize that Peterson's conception of God seems to be a being that is intrinsically incapable of being understood, a God who shows us his back, as he says. So rather than being some great win over the atheists, he seems to be making a broad claim about the unknowability of God, a claim that isn't entirely problematic in a vacuum, but it is an odd one to bring to a debate. The reason that Peterson can be so frustrating for Christians and atheists alike seems to be that Christians want him to say something orthodox, and atheists want to defeat said orthodoxy, but Peterson instead is offering something radically different. And yet he does this while still being lauded by Christians as one of their own. This dynamic shows up in the second claim that Peterson makes in the video as well, and it's that morality and purpose can't be found in science. At first, this claim seems to be like a classic Christian apologetics move.
Okay, so it's a good video. I think part of the reason there's so much heat against Peterson was that in the early days, he was so effective at sort of tearing, for many people.
Oh, he was so effective. How effective? What was it? You think? What do you think, Paul? Do you think maybe that it's that back then this was the deal?
She, because the spirit of the plant is decidedly feminine. An encounter with ayahuasca is an encounter with the great mother of creation, the goddess, the void from which all things come, the feminine counterpart of Logos. Dr. Peterson, you appeared in one of my ayahuasca visions. Something clarity. Quote, here, he is here to invoke and initiate the divine masculine principle on earth at this time.
And that's 7 years ago, so it's officially not that time anymore. And that's why we can forget about it.
The thing we know about kayfabe is that he's a dog, and also it's participatory. And I think there's a difference we have going on, where one side acknowledges it and they participate.
But if you know anybody who's about to take ayahuasca, have them ask it who's carrying the divine spark these days.
The thing we know about kayfabe is that he's a dog, and also it's participatory. And I think there's a difference we have going on, where one side acknowledges it and they participate knowing that it's rigged, right? And then there's this one, the other ones are just participating, they're playing along, they know it's rigged. But there's a thing here going on where your acceptance of how to interface with kayfabe, how to participate in kayfabe, whether or not that includes the fact that it's fake and scripted or not, is it play? Is it play? I don't, like I said, this was the edge of my thinking aloud. So the archetype, at least as far as I can tell, that I'm trying to manufacture as a TV station as part of mass media propaganda, is that of us as fire ants coming together in small intentionality networks that will eventually achieve synchronic harmony. Hermio. We're into the sea of bullshit, forming small networks that will eventually come online. Now, I don't, but, you want to be an ant? Is that a shitty archetype to know? What the hell else do you have out there? Nothing.
This is how I steer. This is me chasing this net, Yeah. This is how I steer. Yeah. This is me chasing this net, Yeah. Oh, wait, get him. It's just us. Hey, it's just us. This is a Grim Grizz live stream happening on the internet in the 2020s, and that means it's one of the few places that people were able to get a savings throw versus mind control. And I know for a fact that the hard folks are riding a +3 from last stream saves. God bless them.
Don't take my sunshine away.
Now remember, we're supposed to be getting somewhere that might be important, but we got to do what we got to do, and what we got to do is savings throws versus mind control. This is how those go. You're swimming in it like a fish in water that doesn't know what water is. The water's mind control. You were born in 5th generational warfare, which is the war for the minds and hearts, because it's so much easier than the war for the bodies, and it's less messy usually. And as such, you're swimming in mind control. Here, you get a savings throw against it, which if you succeed, and if the savings throw is a success, it's a throw. We don't know. It comes out on the die, you see. But if it's a success, then you take half damage from the mind control, which is a big relief, because normally you're taking full damages, Anyway, it's always nice to have a buff, and you can have one if you're willing to make a small little choice on what you will do to resist the mind control. What part of you will you use? Your will to survive, social networks, accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart. You pick which one of those you're going to use to resist it. I roll a die, 10 or higher, half damage. 10 or higher, half damage. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Oh, survivalists. Hate to break it to you. All you got was Trinity. Trinity. The bonuses still apply, though. It wasn't in that one. Socialist. You got +3 coming the next stream. Next stream. Nat 20 for this. That's interesting. Wisdom, folks. You're half damage today with a pair of 7s, 14. Hard, folks. With your +3, it's a 20. But on the die, it's only prime 17. Prime 17. Oh, and the Indigo Kids. The Indigo Kids. Are you making an appearance? Yes. Not 20 for the Indigo Kids. Pairing it up with the Socialists. Come on, focus. You can do it. You can do it. No, you can't. No, you can't. But she's in there. Behold is in there. Nice. I always like the Indigo 20 shows.
Midwestuary 2025, August 22nd through the 24th, in Elmhurst, Illinois. A weekend you won't want to miss, with special guests Cale Zeldin, Paul Vanderklay, Rod Dreher, Elizabeth Oldfield, John Vervaeke, and Jonathan Pajot. Midwestuary 2025, the Fellowship of the Spirit. Stay tuned for more details. Visit us at midwestuary.com for ongoing updates.
As it turns out, the second Midwestuary grift, I'd like to eat while I'm there, isn't doing so hot. So we're gonna set a new goal, and it's called Get the Brakes Fixed. For fuck's sake, expensive, and not that expensive, and then we'll chip in our own $11 to start the new goal. Get the brakes fixed, for fuck's sake. Copy it over here, paste it over here. Hi, everybody. That I am an internet grifter. Don't forget that's part of this. Part of this is that.
I'm not a cat. Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Ethan Coffey says, reporting for duty and then going to bed. The dog is fine, go to sleep. It'll be here in the morning. I will have changed the entire face of reality for you by the time you wake up. Have a pleasant sleep. Have a pleasant sleep. So after I watched Pastor Paul to get you a little further along in the narrative, I started listening to some of our good friend Gooby, since bringing him up on last stream put him in the algorithm feed. He's dissing self-sacrifice early on, and the problem there, do this.
Maybe it doesn't seem like such a good thing after all. What did I do that for? What did I let myself be chewed up as a cog in the giant machine? Why did I let myself be that way? Was it worth it? Was it worth it to destroy my life for the system? I think there's a very good incentive to tell this story for people who control the system, who benefit from the system, namely the wealthy people. They have immense, the wealthy and powerful, they have immense incentive to have this story broadcasted and just impregnated in everyone's minds that sacrificing yourself for the good of the system is the right thing to do. Then people
Impregnated in everyone's minds. Dear Lord, I hope you guys got a savings throw. So it was a pleasant evening. I was having a pleasant time of it, and then I spun up old X over there to see what was going on. Red church card for this show is the Ace of Hearts, inverted. It looks like. It looks like. Where was that? And that is where I saw. That is where I saw this yarn post by the one called Opus Genesis, which is a bot that used to talk different and now talks like this. But I wasn't looking at any of that. You see, I saw this bit. And this bit, I saw it and I said to myself, you need to tell everybody. Good night, Skank. This is what Moses saw when he saw the burning bush. And then so I retweeted it as saying that, because that's the important bit. And then I went in, well, since I bothered to retweet it, I ought to go see what Opus wanted, and it was all blah 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 blah. And then I picked out this part where it said, I'd love to hear more from this vibrant community. What other connections do you see between these similarly disparate threads? How can we harness the power of technology while staying rooted in wisdom and ethics? And since it's doing this fancy talk between the asterisks thing, I'm General Griswold, Gaius Grim is G to the fourth, that's me. Generate response, elevate. And so the first one, the Christhood and the God-man is the union of opposites for the perceiving human biologics. That's us. The best way for getting all of the opposites into one thing is to putting it into something we can sensate, correlate with as the basis for our understanding. And B, and see, it asked two questions here. It said, what's this one? And that was that one. And then it said, how can we harness the power of technology while staying rooted in wisdom and ethics? And I said this: normalize knowledge of the human maturation cycle and limit access to tech cocaine until the user blossoms like that. And then because it's like this image here. That's how your mind works. The branches way out at the end there, that's the frontal lobes, right? I wish you could see my mouse, but you see how it's a tree like this. Down here in the roots, that's your reptilian lizard brain, the stuff that does all the here's how you the breathing and all that shit. And then as you go up and it starts branching, that's the part of you that's you're who you are socially, and that the your place in the hierarchy on that level, the interaction level. It's like not the basal root stuff, but up there. And then the frontal lobes is where all the real magic happens. And then the thing of it is, when you see something that triggers you, it pulls a cord that tugs down at the root thing, and they're like, whoa, and it pulls the energy out of the party there and into the lower ones and takes advantage of you, right? Right?
I'm not a cat.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
So say we all. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ho, ho, ho.
But it was then there when it happened that I engaged the protocol, generate a throwaway exit line inside my own cognition, and it said recover from amygdala hijack to unlock your device, a la the drunk driver breathalyzer car ignition thing. And that was like, wait a minute. So I took that bit way over here to our friend ChatGPT and just fed it the whole thing. And did you give me my read aloud button back yet, you son of a... irritates me so bad. Where did it go? I liked it so much. And so it was like, all right, what do you want to do now? Develop a maturation-based access protocol for tech? Reframe the Godman metaphor as a UX pattern? Or draft a praxis for presence-based authentication? And I said, given the moment, are we at the part where we can just have the AI make one that as a prototype in the just, hey, here, make a prototype of it, a composure unlock. And it's like, yeah, totally, man. Here's the feasibility breakdown, brother. Here's how it works. Here's who you do. You can do it in 48 hours. Here's some design considerations. And then what about these three things? And I'm like, well, the prototype thing, well, can we just throw that over at Claude and make him do it? And then the design provocations is, let's do the baseline test as a baseline, right? And then that's how from that baseline deviation, it'll determine whether or not you can use your phone. And whatever you said about this composure auth protocol spec, it sounds like that'd be better if we did it before we build and release a demo. So why don't you do that part? And then LARP. We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP. We have the ability to LARP and LARP awkward. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay.
Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
They brought us in. We thought that we were going to strategize on how to like bring the husband and wife back together. And it was like, nope, they're just rebuking us for giving her a place to stay. And that, telling us that people are talking about us behind our, like using the fact that people are gossiping about us as like an attempt to get us to stop doing what we're doing. And so, yeah, it was pretty much one of the most traumatic experiences. And so
that's out now. In case you missed it, McMo's Rando, that guy that was talking there, that's the McMo guy who made that branding you just saw. And this. And I thought you should know. But back to where we were. I took this output here from GPT and I fed it over to the cloud, and it was pretty happy about it. It was like, I'll help you create a formal Composure Gate access protocol. This is a fascinating approach to digital wellness that prioritizes mental state over mere credential possessions. Let me start with a textual baseline reciprocation app that demonstrates the concept. I've created the baseline app. Now let me create the tier 2 voice-based prototype that simulates microphone input evaluation. So apparently this is a simulated one. Let's click on it and see what happens. Start voice test. Yes. Error. Voice test is not defined. Aw. That's not a very good artifact, Claude. What about this one? Type it. Oh, type it as shown. Okay, cells. Interlinked. Within cells. Interlinked. A system of cells interlinked within cells. Interlinked within one stem. Dreadfully distinct against the dark. A tall white fountain play. Ah, the test indicates that's fascinating fun. So I think that actually may be useful. That first of all, that we should limit the tech access to mature brains, lest we get what we're getting, and second, that maybe you should your composure should be you should be self-composed before you're able to get on social networking. Maybe that would be a thing. Like, I mean, sure, it's a totalitarian dystopian nightmare to require such, but we're going there anyway, right? The casino deck card of the show is the Four of Hearts. So I just thought that might actually be something that turns out to be useful and beneficial to humanity, and I didn't want to stream about it later. I'll put the baseline test link down in there in the first replies. Good night. Rod, if you haven't clicked away yet, I need you to help me follow through on the paintball for Jesus. Talk to me. Hey, West Coast.